Okay, this one I'm gonna actually watch the one we're supposed. So far, I didn't found any major tamperings being done. Also, if indeed there are some point, you get to see where the tampering is done because we're reaching back-to-back screen recordings. So if it happens, at which point it happens, you get to see. So, for instance, if it's already tampered on those, you see it being uploaded immediately. You know the tampering is done as we're recording it, which is important. I always believed that was the case. Well, tampering is done as transference. I usually just to damage the evidence, not to change it. I thought wrong. So, yeah, good to see it. Um, so that way, you know. But as I said, this one is the one that could be added later, pushed for later, if there's some tamperings there. I think there was someone stalking behind me, and I wanted to show that to you. My finger is blocking the back camera though. Phone is more, but also I'm leaning against that. I don't know. Just like yesterday, right? And that's my point. So you see this, it just looks like distinct, right? So I watched those for the longest time, and my logic was, is distinct. You can do that trivially, it's an easy fix. We know that that's done on purpose, and we know that that is done as for the purpose of furthering templates, and templates that actually do have meaning, not just things to make a video distinct, but with the video distinct, which makes things sound different, and maybe inserts and other things like that to witness. So both are relevant. This is relevant to the fact that I'm leaning my head is equivalent to back dangerous from where I sleep to lean down, like lay down. Um, Both of which done in the situations where again the drugs being thrown on me and you can see the impact of them. So take this as a direct reference, direct link, direct comparison to the video we did in the middle of the night. Because over there it was 3 a.m. The peak of the Windows Academia. The dumbest point for anyone to wake up, and it's the times when they like to wake me up, just so you don't have any doubts about how artificial that is. And now it's 6 p.m. in the mall. Again, it's not just the leaning the head, it's also demeanor, energy, and everything else that you see kind of like being sucked, so to speak, away from me. You decide in video. I understand they might not be able to listen to it. I don't know how easy it is for me to just attach the microphone. It's not even so much for the attachment. Is that just if I put the microphone close by, I have to be holding it there and then keep stopping the fear. 6 minutes, the video's already online. Do you need me to do it? I probably should do it. Because, again, as I said to you, the also another thing about the crime is an evening crime PM, so it's another thing as the crime goes. The fact that you ramp up the crime starting about this time. Potential threats and stations of things. As I said in that video, which is already online here in public, I always share that with Tony, much like the faces one, except the faces one, because again, technicality is mostly I don't have much fun. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna point out every time a face in the background shows up in a video on YouTube, that's one thing. But as of, and again, you don't watch many of those because it happens pretty often. But as of the other things might be held up. Nothing that I'm hiding necessarily, as you see me referencing it. It's just that I don't want to. Again, technicalities. I don't know even if that's the case. I don't think it is. As I said, you see those pretty often everywhere, right? Just don't need to go too far. The entire sector of body cam videos and involves that. Again, what right does this random person have to showcase again someone being arrested for DUI or whatever? But as I said, not my concern. The general point is just that it would be good to you either way. My purpose is simply to make sure that there is not. Now, that being said, as I said, since many accusations are made, I also have the concern that the accusations are properly laid and given them not in a position to have oversight over all those things. They can make mistakes. I prefer to just let the reporters analyze that when they come when they see to make the ones properly, and then you can just blood the other ones. You should blood. Injustice is undone with a sledge. It's not done. Can never be done with a sledgehammer. As of right now, there was this weird dude, the weird criminal passing in front of me with the phone facing me only and exclusively, starting this supposedly phone conversation like this on the phone, starting over there and ending as soon as it passed through my table, pointing me the entire time. The idea is pretty clear. It's to get me to just show that to you. You know, by the time I get to see, it wouldn't be all that much. So, again, the things you get to see. This is what I just eyewitnessed in front of me. As a matter of fact, the same criminal just apparently, I think it's the same. No, I think it's different. The guy when I was in a t-shirt and shorts. Same height though. Um, Back to the point. The what else I suppose? Oh yeah, you listening? But either way, as it goes, you get to see the interaction. If anybody has doubt about the standing accusation for this, yeah, that's essentially one of the major points as to all the suffering of the pain. See how difficult it is? Now, that was me. It was just difficult just because it keeps twitching. I don't know how normal that is. But it is very difficult to me. So, this is my mouth. And the second one was coming back from the bathroom as soon as I got back. But you know, and today, getting here, you saw getting the same crimes you just witnessed now, with the same outcome as you witnessed now. Same ones as yesterday as well. Much of this is for the to the left, correct? She keep harassing, surrounding me for locals in the town. But it's okay though, because today you saw someone receiving something from there right in front of me as I was just waiting to be able to sit down and drink my food. And then they stayed there in front. Also, by all means, imagine my face is actually centered. It's just that my body ends in here on this side and in here on this side because of this thing I had, which is also as a direct result of the crimes and to the horror of it. So, you know, it is actually centered on my face. It's just that there's an extra chunk of hair to one side that is not to the other. The middle of nowhere, don't even see, just standing there and waving something and talking, as you do, as normal people do, right? So that justifies it, that makes it sensible for this, because you need this to understand that this is sensible. So it's actually all of this all the criminals doing, and they communicate with each other. It's kind of like textbook for conspiracy, as it goes. Legal conspiracy. I'm talking about the colloquial word. We're talking about when you sit down in a restaurant and talk to someone about committing a crime and set up and then coordinate and then organize and then communicate and then you actually get to execute. You can just ask that GH, probably explain better than I can. What I thought that a homeless person that is. It's because I saw something in the corner of my eye that I wanted to show to you. So, again, that's it as I go. This is as it's pointed there for how easy it is, but that doesn't matter, just that matters for them. As for
essential. I mean, yes, but for the ones for the drugs, I mean, what they are one seed out of one, because the other one is they always. I mean, technically one not two, but all the conditions apply to this one is the other one. So just seems to be precise. Because with the crimes, notice that before this was not a problem because you just charged the power bank, right? Until they did something to the phone to destroy that. Basically,
No need to do this. This is pointless. See. So here's the deal. What am I doing? I'm authenticating that. Okay, that doesn't have to be in video. We're just wasting space. What the point here is, you get to see first off the horror of the things. You get to see the druggings. You get to see most of what they're doing now for the drugs, not so much anything physical. Then you seeing anything that sounds like what I said. Okay, about what the power bank is. You have the power bank. You can use the power bank to charge the phone. The battery crimes would be not quite an afterthought. It's still there. The thing is, the other phone, the phone whose battery they destroyed recently, and then they did the thing to destroy the phone as a whole. The heck fuck HF. Sorry for that language. That one is probably had they upgraded the battery the entire time I was using it. The only point is the again that by the way the same shorty passing by. I think maybe it was the same. He passed here 3 times with the phone facing me. The one that I mentioned entered the store. Up at some point, he probably left without me paying attention to it, and he just passed facing me here for the reason again. Um, Again, as I said, I'm not hiding. I would like to show that to you, but again, I'm just not sidetracking on this. I actually do that. Are we good? Also, want to see how much space. Yeah, how much space. Um, back to the point. That wouldn't be public immediately. That would be given one of those to the press, but just in case it's not important, you can testify to what I see. Um, Either way, as I'm doing. Um, so as of right now, I can see the impact of it. The and we're just watching that, which is kind of pointless. Just digital crimes, yeah. So the power bank could do this. The other phone probably always they could tamper with it. They did that tamper with it several times. I remember a couple of times Sundays and other day, even backup days when you see battery being drained in ways that don't make any sense. There's always something that they could do. As I said, days back, draw their phones for that. Much like now, today charge with the phone on at a reasonable rate. I would say at least reasonable-ish. Well, in other days, you see me sitting down here for hours, and for hours the phone doesn't pass 50%. From morning to night. Today was not much different than the other days. My best that I should have to go piss. I went to the bathroom, 1 hour. Have to go buy food, even bought food in Mufat instead of here, which is quicker. And the phone's at 100%. It arrived here at 30, which, by the way, pretty bizarre, right? And that's the point. It seems that instead of trying to interfere with the charging, they're now just draining it much quicker. Also, the changes in the ways that they do things, which clearly showcase none of this is normal. But as I was saying, this all to say just that with the power bank, that's all should be simple. And you saw that just helps emphasize the other point, which is those things being done to the power bank, to the little guy, by the way. No, don't forget that. And now to the battery on this phone, as you saw a couple other days, at 20% in less than 2 hours. Like 20 is something, or 18% in 1.5 hours. Like how crazy that is. Um, and again, as I said, it just becomes a number, and it's not a chance in hell you have even as the assumption that that is how it is supposed to work. But the next day we have it worse because the day Lisa played the game. The next day you have like 1.5 hours of video recording draining 20%, 30%, it was 30%, right? The next day. So as I said, it stops being a factor. It's absurd enough that what is even the difference, right? They can just drain that. And this is the point to understand. That being said, as I said, most of those days when it was charging, the phone was dead. The charger was stone cold. Well, now the charger is cold because the phone is at 100%, but it wouldn't be if it wasn't. And that's another point, which means that now it's charging normally. It makes sense. I'm just saying that the physical touch there substantiates that this is not just a number, that now is being done, which also implies something in reverse, which is those interferences are done ad hoc. They're not done by algorithm, they're done by a criminal. doing that to the phone in that moment to cause that problem. It's not something that was set up. So again, this is also good to see. As for the, yeah, by the way, the same criminal I mentioned before, walking all the way up to roughly the middle of staying in front of me, like facing me as I was doing this, and then putting the phone down to enter the same store. For the further second time, I think the second time the store, fifth time, and actually facing the phone to me, and I'm trying to show that to you. If I can, at least put the face on record for what it's worth. My days am I doing this, greatest priority is to document things to than to sidetrack into faces. That's why I say for the other faces you see the other days that you get to see those faces. That's what matters. Um, again, the oh yeah, but so this is for the first time. What else am I talking The this is about it.